Hey, Celtics Nation. We're back with an exclusive video and the latest updates on our beloved Boston Celtics. Before we dive in, make sure to subscribe to the channel and hit that like button. This way, you'll always stay up to date and never miss out on any exclusive news. There's a rumor sweeping across the NBA landscape, and if it turns out to be true, it could shake the league to its core. Joel Embiid, yes, that Joel Embiid, the reigning MVP, the process himself, is said to be on the verge of joining the Boston Celtics. Let that sink in for a second. The same Celtics that have been tormenting the Eastern Conference for years, the same team built on discipline, chemistry, and a relentless will to win, might be adding one of the most dominant big men of this generation to their arsenal. The whispers started quietly, just little hints dropped by insiders on social media, a few sources hinting that Embiid's relationship with Philadelphia had reached its breaking point. And when Embiid unfollowed a few Sixers accounts last week, the speculation went into overdrive. Fans started imagining him in green and white, in that iconic Celtics jersey, standing next to Jason Tatum and Jaylen Brown. The thought alone feels almost unfair. If this rumor holds any truth, we might be looking at the formation of one of the scariest trios in modern NBA history, something that could redefine the power balance of the entire league. Now, picture it. Joel Embiid walking into TD Garden, hearing that thunderous Boston crowd chanting his name, and feeling the weight of decades of basketball history pressing on his shoulders. This is a city that lives and breathes the sport, a fan base that doesn't just cheer, it demands greatness. Embiid would instantly become part of a lineage that includes Bill Russell, Larry Bird, and Paul Pierce. But beyond the history, this move would be about legacy, about redemption, and about finally conquering the postseason demons that have haunted him in Philadelphia. Boston has been close, painfully close, to another championship banner. Year after year, they've come up short, not for lack of talent, but perhaps for lack of that one unstoppable interior presence. Embiid could be that missing piece, the enforcer, the anchor, the emotional engine. His scoring, defense, and leadership could elevate Tatum and Brown to another level, creating a perfect storm that few teams could hope to contain. The idea of seeing him dominating under the rim in green? It's the kind of storyline that writes itself. What makes this rumor even more fascinating is how it would completely transform both franchises. For Philadelphia, losing Embiid would mean the end of an era, the death of the process, that long, painful rebuild that was supposed to lead to glory. For Boston, it would signal an all-in move, a commitment to winning now, no matter the cost. Reports suggest that if this blockbuster were to happen, it wouldn't come cheap. The Celtics would likely have to part with key rotation players, maybe even a future draft pick or two. But when you're talking about a player of Embiid's caliber, you pay the price. The Celtics front office, led by Brad Stevens, has shown time and again that they're not afraid to make bold moves. Trading for Embiid would be the ultimate statement, a declaration that second place is no longer acceptable. It would be Boston's way of saying, we're done waiting for next year. The time is now. And honestly, can anyone blame them? Still, not everyone is convinced this would work. Some analysts argue that Embiid's playing style might clash with the Celtics system, which thrives on ball movement, spacing, and versatility. They question whether he can stay healthy enough to carry a championship run, pointing to his injury history and high usage rate. Others wonder if his fiery personality might disrupt the carefully built chemistry that Tatum and Brown have developed. But let's be real, talent like Embiid's doesn't come around often. He's not just a scorer, he's a game changer. And if Boston's coaching staff can integrate him into their system without losing their identity, the payoff could be monumental. Imagine a pick and roll between Tatum and Embiid, Brown cutting to the basket, and shooters waiting on the perimeter. It's almost unfair to imagine how unstoppable that lineup could be. The risk is real, sure, but the reward could be dynasty level. For fans, this rumor has been pure chaos. Social media exploded the moment the whispers began, with fan edits of Embiid and Celtics green flooding every platform imaginable. Some Boston fans are already planning parades. Others are cautious, remembering how super teams sometimes crumble under their own hype. Meanwhile, Philly fans are in disbelief, torn between heartbreak and acceptance. After all, EMBIID is the Sixers, their soul, their identity, their emotional centerpiece. Losing him would be like losing the heart of the city. Yet, there's also a growing sense that maybe it's time for both sides to move on. The Sixers' repeated playoff disappointments have drained everyone involved. Maybe a change of scenery is exactly what EMBIID needs to finally capture that elusive ring. And maybe Boston is the perfect place for his second act, a city that knows how to win and demands nothing less. And let's not forget the psychological warfare this move would unleash across the NBA. Imagine the ripple effects. Teams scrambling to adjust, rivals rethinking their rosters, and front offices losing sleep over how to stop a Celtics team powered by EMBIID, Tatum, and Brown. Giannis and the Bucks, Jimmy Butler's Heat, even the Knicks, everyone in the East would suddenly have a new problem to solve. The West, too, would feel the pressure. Suddenly, the championship window for everyone else would start to close just a little bit faster. That's the kind of move this would be, one that doesn't just change a team, but the entire landscape of the league. And until something official happens, we're all left waiting, speculating, and refreshing our feeds, wondering if this unbelievable rumor could actually become reality. If Joel Embiid truly ends up in Boston, the narrative writes itself like a Hollywood blockbuster. Think about it. The once untrustable process hero, after years of heartbreak and second-round exits, joins the franchise of legends to chase the one thing that's eluded him, a championship. The Celtics have always been about team-first basketball, built on sacrifice and structure. EMBIID, on the other hand, represents dominance, flair, and controlled chaos. The fusion of those two worlds could create something magical or combustible. But the potential upside? It's staggering. Tatum would finally have a legitimate superstar partner who can handle the spotlight, someone who could dominate the paint, draw double teams, and free up shooters. Brown could thrive in a more open system. And EMBIID would finally have the kind of supporting cast that doesn't crumble when the lights are brightest. It's the kind of partnership that could define the next decade of basketball, if the chemistry clicks. Behind the scenes, sources suggest that the Celtics front office has been quietly evaluating big men for months, searching for a piece that can solidify their interior defense without sacrificing offensive versatility. Kristaps Porzingis has been solid, no doubt, but injuries and inconsistency have left Boston craving more reliability in the paint. EMBIID would instantly solve that problem. He's not just a defender. He's an intimidator, someone who alters every shot, forces game plans to change, and makes opponents think twice about driving to the rim. Offensively, he brings a post presence the Celtics haven't had in years. Picture him catching the ball at the elbow, facing up, reading the defense, and either sinking that silky mid-range jumper or bulldozing his way to the basket. Add Boston's spacing and coaching discipline to that equation, and suddenly you're looking at an offensive juggernaut that could be impossible to stop. The Celtics have been great. With EMBIID, they could be legendary. But let's talk about the emotional weight of such a move. Joel Embiid leaving Philadelphia wouldn't just be another trade. It would be a breakup of epic proportions. This is a player who was the process, who carried a city's hopes on his shoulders through years of rebuilding, injuries, and heartbreak. The fans chanted his name, defended him through criticism, and believed he would deliver a title to Philly. If he leaves, it's not just a transaction. It's the end of an era. Yet, that's what makes the idea of him in Boston so fascinating. It would symbolize rebirth, a chance for Embiid to redefine himself, to write a new chapter in his story. For the Celtics, it would be the ultimate power move, stealing the heart of a rival city while strengthening their own. Rivalries in the NBA have always been about moments like this, betrayals, shocks, and shifts in power that remind everyone why we love the game. And let's be honest, the league would absolutely explode. Every network, every podcast, every sports show would be running EMBIID Celtics coverage 24/7. Jerseys would sell out in hours. The memes, the debates, the takes, it would dominate the cultural conversation for weeks. And on the court, the anticipation would be electric. Opening night at TD Garden would feel like a coronation. The first time Embiid faces the Sixers in Philly, that's not just a game, that's a movie. You'd have boos, cheers, emotions running wild, and a storyline that every basketball fan in the world would tune in for. The NBA thrives on drama, and this move would deliver it in full. It's not just about talent. It's about theater, emotion, and legacy. EMBIID to Boston wouldn't just shift standings. It would shift the soul of the sport itself. Of course, the skeptics won't stay quiet. They'll bring up injuries, the potential ego clashes, and the delicate balance of star power in Boston. Can Tatum, Brown, and Embiid coexist without someone feeling overshadowed? Can Embiid handle the pressure of Boston's unforgiving media? Can the Celtics stay healthy enough to make the dream a reality? These are fair questions, and history shows that super teams often crumble under those same pressures. But the difference here is culture. The Celtics have built one of the strongest locker room foundations in the league. They've created a winning identity that emphasizes accountability and shared success. If Embiid buys into that, and everything suggests he would, this could be the rare instance where three superstars actually amplify each other instead of competing for spotlight. It's risky, but greatness usually is. So, as the rumors continue to swirl and fans keep refreshing their feeds, one thing's clear. The idea of Joel Embiid joining the Boston Celtics isn't just a story, it's a moment. Whether it becomes reality or fades into myth, it's already done what great sports rumors always do. It's ignited imaginations, sparked debates, and reminded us why we care. Because deep down, every fan dreams of the impossible, the blockbuster trade, the redemption arc, the next dynasty waiting to happen. And if this one does come true, if Embiid really walks out wearing Celtic green, we might just be witnessing the start of something historic, the birth of a new era where the echoes of Boston's championship past collide with the unstoppable force of Joel Embiid's future. But before we continue, please remember to subscribe to the channel and give the video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest news about the Boston Celtics. Feel free to share your thoughts on the news in the comments as well. The idea of Joel Embiid donning the green and white jersey has already turned into something bigger than just speculation. It's become a movement. Fans are dissecting every emoji tweet, every press conference smirk, every cryptic post like detectives piecing together a mystery. Sports radio in Boston can't go 5 minutes without callers screaming that this is destiny, that Embiid was meant to wear the Celtic colors. There's something poetic about it. A player known for his heart, his emotion, and his sheer dominance joining a franchise that defines tradition, teamwork, and relentless pursuit of excellence. The thought of him walking through the player tunnel at TD Garden, pounding his chest as "Let's go Celtics" echoes through the arena, feels like something out of a dream. Even skeptics are starting to whisper that maybe, just maybe, this is the move that pushes Boston back to the top of the basketball world. If this deal happens, though, it wouldn't just be about basketball. It would be about rewriting legacies. For Embiid, it would mean shedding the weight of the process years and the heartbreaks that defined his time in Philadelphia. For the Celtics, it would mean finally delivering the finishing touch to a roster that's been one piece away from perfection. Imagine the storylines. Embiid, once viewed as a tragic hero, rising again as the anchor of a championship powerhouse. Tatum evolving into a global superstar beside him. Brown silencing all doubts about his role. Together, they could form a dynasty that reminds fans of the great Celtics teams of the past. Dominance built on grit, intelligence, and pure will. Every possession, every game, every playoff battle would feel like a statement, a message to the league that the Celtics are not just back, they're untouchable. And maybe that's what makes this rumor so intoxicating. It's not just about trades, stats, or contracts. It's about hope. The hope that a generational talent can find the right home. The hope that a storied franchise can rise again. The hope that basketball, at its core, can still surprise us, still give us something to believe in. Whether it happens tomorrow, next season, or never at all, the idea of Embiid in Boston has already done what all great sports stories do. It's made people dream. And in a league built on moments, on magic and on belief, sometimes the dream itself is powerful enough to change everything. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to keep receiving exclusive news about the Boston Celtics, please subscribe to our channel and give the video a like. We always appreciate your comments and opinions. See you in the next video.